Hi, welcome to this week's edition of Scrap Talk. I'm Ross Litz and this is Kip Brown. Today we're going to talk about what we don't take at a scrapyard, Kip. I mean, we've gone through weeks of telling you what we do take and all the great things about buying scrap, but there are a few things that we just don't want.
And we'd rather tell you now as opposed to you get here with it and we have to tell you then. That's just not what people want to hear when they get here. We don't take that.
Yeah.
So
And they get frustrated and they say, well, it's made of metal and why don't you take it? Well, we're going to explain to you a little bit about why, hopefully in this episode. Yep, why don't you take us, basically the overview is we don't want any pressurized tanks. So in our shredding process, it is highly hazardous for us to shred any kind of tank that has pressure in it, right?
it is. It could really cause problems. So we'd like to avoid that.
Mostly fire problems. So if it explodes, it comes out of the shredder and normally it's on fire and we have to put a fire out and causes all kinds of problems.
Just not a good look.
Not a good day. Not a good day. So when we ask you to not bring pressurized tanks, it's for our safety, really, and the customers on the yard. It's just a highly flammable,
Yeah, there's a danger with these things.
So we're going to take you every day. There's different questions. Well, it's not a propane tank, or it is, an oxygen tank, so we're going to take you through a variety of different tanks today to show you the difference. Okay.
We'll start with this one. This is not an acetylene tank, but it's a nitrogen tank, which is, still a sealed container. And acetylene will be a little taller, which is a flammable, and we don't want those. Can't have those, guys. They just, like I said, they cause a lot of problems and there's a risk that goes along with these.
Yeah.
So we'll move on from that. They're basic everyday fire extinguishers.
Right.
We get these in, and there's nothing we can do with them, so we obviously have to pay a third party to
come take them away.
Yeah.
And that's true with really all of these tanks that we get in. If they still have the valves in them, we have to really pay to get rid of them because we're not going to take the valves out. So we pay a company to come take these away.
Yeah, we do accumulate a few. I understand people have one, and they don't know. And hopefully this video will help educate you on what not to bring to the scrapyard.
Right.
And then we get into AC refrigerants. Again, a sealed container. Don't want it, guys. If it's got a hole in it, it's one thing. We can work with you on that. But if it's still a sealed container, problems for us. So
we just make a rule across the board, Kip, that it doesn't matter. That probably would not catch on fire. However, it's a sealed, pressurized container. So we just have a rule across the board that we just don't accept.
And a lot of people confuse these for propane tanks, which I can understand, how they can get that idea, but not a propane tank, but still not an acceptable product for us to run here. And then you get into party time. It's the balloon time. We're blowing up balloons here. Again, a sealed container. Don't really want those, guys, unless it's got a hole in it. They come in with holes in them. People do whatever. They shoot their guns, and sometimes they come in with holes in them, and that's fine. We can take it.
Right. It's got a hole. There's no pressure in it. We can take it.
Carbonated drinks. This is the container that, you hook it up to your fountain sodas, and which provides carbonation. Sealed container.
We get these from mostly retail stores or gas stations or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But, again, it's an issue for us.
Home health. Oxygen tanks.
It's a big one because we get a lot of this is a valuable aluminum, and we realize that. The unfortunate thing is it is pressurized, and it's liable to explode in our shredder, and that means it's a hazard. So, again, if you want to take the valve out, not a problem. We'll pay you aluminum for it, but
be glad to get them that way.
Yeah, glad to get them. but we can't take it with the stem, the valve stem still in it.
All right, now here's the propane tank. Do not want these guys. I mean, I have people show up with them, and I got to send them back home with them because, I mean, we can't.
This will explode. Major problems. Major explosion.
It will shake your walls.
Yeah.
Propane really is a big deal. As with acetylene, I would say those are the two most, with oxygen as well. I mean, there's a lot of hazards right here as far as running through a shift shredder.
Absolutely. So those are the different kinds of tanks that we do not accept. Again, you have a hole in them. I don't care how you get the hole in them, but we will accept them. Valve stems out, not a problem. But if they don't have a hole, no deal. We can't accept them. So we're going to move on to some other things now that we don't accept without permission. Okay, these are really serious offenses that we get from time to time from people that are either stealing, to be honest with you, or they found it, somewhere. Well, there's old railroad tracks everywhere, but those railroad tracks are owned typically by a railroad company. Even though they might be there for 100 years, they are owned. And it is against the law for any scrapyard to buy railroad steel without written permission from the railroad that owns that spur or rail line.
And even the paperwork, it needs to be legitimately
on their letterhead.
Yes.
And we can verify that. Normally we call them just to make sure that's not a fake document. So it is a serious offense for us if we buy it. It is a huge offense for the person bringing it in without paperwork.
Really big deal on that stuff.
Big problem here. Big problem. So this is another issue that we're finding more and more of, especially with these storms and hurricanes that are happening. And listen, we realize that this stuff blows, and there's times, of year when hurricanes happen. They just happened this week here in Tennessee. These road signs blow everywhere. Well, they are not your property. Do not go picking these things up, because the state, and most states have Tennessee Highway, Department to go out and find these signs, and they bring them to us or any other scrapyard here in Tennessee. So these are major issues. If you bring them to us, we are not allowed to buy them, and we don't want to buy them. Typically, we will probably turn you away because there's too many questions on how you got it. Okay.
And just to note that these did come in from the city. Our city brought these in, so they were not bought from an individual. They came in.
Right. A government entity brings them in. So road signs, big problem.
Shopping carts.
Yeah.
I don't have one here to show you, but shopping carts are, we do get them, but they come with that company letterhead.
Right.
And then mission stuff.
Shopping carts are a big no-no for us. We can't buy them without a written letterhead from the retail store that you claim you got them. So don't go stealing shopping carts, from the parking lot.
Yeah. Okay? Yeah.
What else, Kip? I think that's about it. That's the big ones that we see on a daily basis. And we wanted to send this to you in this episode, that just to inform you, like we've done all these other episodes, it's informative. So thanks again for subscribing. Please, if you haven't yet, subscribe to us on YouTube. Listen to us on Apple and Spotify. We're on Facebook. Tremendous response, and a lot of positive feedback, and we really appreciate that. So thanks for joining us this week on Scrap Talk. Have a great day.